Hello everybody. Today we are going to discuss the chapter Interdependence in Living Beings for both animals and plants. Now, you know that in our earth, all the types of the things are there. Some of them are the living things like the human being, plants, animals, and many other non-living things are there like sun, soil, earth, water, etc. So to make a good and healthy life, to save our earth, we need to depend on both living and non-living things, and there is an interdependence or mutual understanding between all the living things as well as the non-living things like sun ray, water, soil, etc. So in this chapter we are actually discussing about how they are depend on each other, both the living things and the non-living things. So our environment is composed of both living and non-living things, and we are interchange, or we are actually mutually exchange our food nutrients to live a good healthy life. So let's see this chart, the living things. Categorically, it is actually three parts are there. First is the producer, second one is the consumers, and third one is the decomposers. All the living components are categorized into three different parts. First one is the producer, second one is the consumer, and the third one is the decomposer. So what are the producers? Producers are the kind of living beings which can produce their own food by photosynthesis. So what is the photosynthesis? All the green plants, they can make their own food. For example, any kind of green plants, the process in the photosynthesis, in the leaves of the green plants, one green pigment is there. The name of the green pigment is chlorophyll. And when the sun rays falls on the leaves of the green plants or any other green parts, then the chlorophyll activates. And then the chlorophyll absorbs the sunlight, and not only that, the green plants absorbs carbon dioxide gas from the atmosphere, and with the help of its root, it can absorb the minerals with water. These minerals, when mixed up with water, it's known as the sap, ascent of sap. That means with the help of green pigment chlorophyll, with the help of sunlight, with the help of carbon dioxide gas absorbed by the green plants, and by absorbing the minerals which are present in the soil, different kinds of the minerals, plant absorbs this kind of minerals and they produce their own food in the leaf in the form of glucose. So that is the stored energy or food inside the green plants. And all other living beings except the green plants, either they directly or indirectly depends on that green plants. So here it is the photosynthesis, where the green plants absorb the sunlight with the help of green pigment chlorophyll, and they absorb the minerals from the soil with water to produce their own food. Now, interdependence by exchanging of gases. Let me explain this one, that to produce their own food, plants absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and in lieu of that, it exchange or it release oxygen gas, which actually fresh our air. And all other living beings except that green plants, we actually exhale carbon dioxide gas and we inhale the oxygen gas. So if we make our earth green, that will produce more oxygen and absorb more carbon dioxide gas. And that's why in this way, by exchanging the gases of carbon dioxide and oxygen, that green plants, they directly depend on the other non-living animals, other living animals, as well as that other plants which are not green, say different kinds of the cactuses or different kinds of the plants are there, they actually do not able to prepare their own food by their own. Only the green plants can prepare their foods by means of photosynthesis. So, and not only that, the green plants also give us the shelter, give us the different kinds of the food also. And you know, for the dispersal of the seed, the plants directly or indirectly depend on the living thing as well as the non-living thing. It depends for the dispersal of the seed, it depends on the blowing of air, it depends on the flowing of water, as well as it depends on the different kinds of the animals also to disperse their seeds in the different areas of the earth. So that is the interdependence in between the producer with all other living beings. So come to the next part, consumer. The consumer is the kind of living organism which cannot prepare their own food. So consumers, they are not able to prepare their own food. Do not think about the cooking. Cooking is a process, but by itself in nature, if we are not able to prepare our food in our body by absorbing the different sources. Okay, just like the green plants. So consumers, they are not able to prepare their own food. They directly or indirectly depends on the producers to make their life, to live their life. So the consumers, it's categorically 4 parts are there: herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, and the scavengers. Now let us discuss about the herbivores. Herbivores eat only plants, example deer, cow, buffalo, etc. So herbivores, you are familiar with different kinds of the herbivores, and they directly depends on the different parts of the plant so that they can feed on them and make their life smooth. So herbivores are this kind of the consumers which can eat only plants, and deer, cow, buffalo, zebra, these are the examples of herbivores. Come to the next part, carnivores. Eat flesh of other animals, lion, tiger, etc. So carnivores are the kind of the consumers which cannot prepare their own food, but they depend on that herbivores because they eat the flesh of this kind of animal, because you know that lion hunt that deer or tiger for its own food. It depends on the other herbivores like deer or cow or buffalo or zebra. So carnivores are the kinds of consumers which eat flesh of other animals. Come to the next part, omnivores. Omnivores eat both plants and the animals, example bear, crow, raccoon. These are the kinds. So omnivores, these are the kind of consumers which eat both plants as well as animals. Bear can eat the fruit of different plants, or it can eat the flesh of other animal also. You can take the example of a human being also, because we are actually depends on the different kinds of the vegetables as well as we depend on the eggs, meat, or different kinds of actually human being. It's a we are also the kind of omnivores because we are eating the both plants and we are depends for the flesh for other animals also. Bear, crow, raccoon, these are the examples of omnivores. That means they eat both plants and the animals. Last part of the consumers is scavengers. Feed on the dead plants and animals, example vultures and hyenas. So these scavengers, these are the kind of carnivores, but they are not hunting the other animals directly. Generally, they are not directly hunting the other animals, but they actually feed themselves on the dead plants as well as the dead animals. You are familiar with that hyenas. If you see the National Geographic Channel or different kinds of wildlife photography, you will understand that hyena, when the lions group are hunting, the hyenas group, they are waiting, and after when the lion or tiger, they have finished their eating, then they are approaching to the dead body to eat the dead flesh, and vultures also. So they are actually, in this way, they keep our environment clean. So scavengers feed on the dead plants and animals, example vultures and hyenas. So these are the category of the consumer. Now the third part of the living components are decomposers. Break down dead and decaying organism, nutrients present in the dead body are returned to the soil, example bacteria and fungi. Now decomposers. Decomposers, you cannot see the decomposers with your naked eyes. You need some special kind of microscope. You need to see the decomposers, because the size of the decomposers are so small you cannot imagine. You cannot see them with the normal microscope or by using the naked eye. You have to use the special kind of electronic microscope to view the exact shape of different kinds of the bacteria and fungi. And they are actually, they feed themselves, they break down the dead and decaying organisms. And when they break down the dead and decaying organism, the nutrients present in the dead body that mix up to the soil, and that's why the essential components of the earth that will return back to the soil again. As first I told you that the producers, they actually absorb the different kinds of the minerals with the help of their root as well as along with water. The name of that term, mix up the minerals with the water, is known as the sap. Now how that minerals mixed up with the ground? By naturally and by the action of the decomposers. Because when the decomposers feed on their dead and decaying organisms, they break down the complex one to simpler one. Now recall that one. In the photosynthesis, plant forms the simplest glucose carbohydrate, that is a simple one. And when we eat the different kinds of the food in our body, that is a complex one. Human being or the scavengers or carnivores, whoever what we are eating, that is a complex food. And now when the decomposers acts on that complex food, they actually break down that dead body, and the nutrients, all the essential nutrients, these are present in the form of radicals. I will learn afterwards, not in this class, and that will return to the soil. Bacteria, different kinds of bacteria, different kinds of the fungi. Do not consider the virus. Virus is not the decomposers. You are familiar with the COVID-19. So do not consider that virus are the kind of decomposers. Decomposers are bacteria and fungi. Different kinds of the bacteria and fungi are there who actually act on the dead and decaying organism to break down the dead body so that the nutrient present in the dead body are returned to the soil. Now let us discuss about the food chain. What is the food chain? You see the definition. A kind of chain where energy flows from sun to the plants and then to animals in the form of food. Let me explain this one. The source, all the kinds of the source of our energy, the one and only source is sun. So all the living beings, they are getting their energy to do their work, to do their daily activity from the sun. But we are not able to absorb the sun's energy directly. It's not possible. Only the green plants are able to trap the sunlight during photosynthesis. Only the green plants, these are actually able to trap the energy of the sunlight. But it's a very few percentage of sunlight it can trap in the form of photosynthesis. Now, when the green plants prepare their own food in the form of glucose, they actually trapped the solar energy in their body. And by using this energy, they can utilize this energy to make their metabolism, so that their metabolism can go, and the rest of the part of the energy, it is stored inside that plant. all the energy that is not utilized, some part of the energy is utilized by the green plants, and the rest of the part that is stored in the inside the plant in the form of fruit or whatever. Now when the herbivores, they eat the green plants directly, they get the residual amount of energy from the green plants, and actually this energy that comes from the sun only. So herbivores, they are getting the energy from the sun indirectly through the green plants. Now when the carnivores eat the flesh of other animals, especially herbivores, then also the carnivores animals, they are getting their energy from the herbivores, and herbivores get their energy from the producer, and producer get their energy from the sun. And that's true for the scavengers also. So it's a food chain, and ultimately when the plant or animal become dead, then the decomposers start their action to break down the dead and decaying organism and the nutrients that go back to the soil. Now listen one thing, the amount of energy trapped by the green plants is very less when the energy flow from the producer to the consumer, then the amount of energy is much more less than that of the producer. And when it moved to the scavengers and others, that means when it moved from one part to the another part, then gradually there is a decrease in energy, and there is no way to return the energy to the sun again. It is unidirection. Always remember, the energy that comes from the sun trapped by the producer and it moves producer to the consumers, the energy flow is always unidirection. It is not possible to return the trapped sun energy to the sun again. Okay, so sun is the ultimate source of energy. Now this food chain, it's a kind of chain where the energy flows from the sun to the plants and then to the animals in the form of food. For example, that herbivore, the deer eats some green plants. Now if the lion or the tiger eat that deer, then the energy also flows from herbivores to the carnivores. That is the kind of chain, and you will learn later in biology class that different kinds of the food chains are there for different kinds of the living being, and all the food chains, they make a web, and that is termed as the food web. So food chain is a kind of chain where the energy flows directly from sun to the plants and then to the animals, and different kinds of the food chain associated with each other, they make a food web. Okay, so now you can understand that how that environment that composed of living and non-living things, they are actually depend with each other. So not only for the exchange of the gases, but also for the shelter, for their well-being, living, for to make the furniture from the wood, or the in case of the plants for the dispersal of the seeds. So all the way they are depend on each other. We are depend directly or indirectly with the living and non-living things of the environment. Now come to the causes of imbalance in nature. This is the hard truth of our modern world, because if the earth we can make the balance, then we can live smoothly. But you know that there is a pandemic, that COVID virus, and tsunami, earthquake, melting of glaciers. These are the different kinds of the natural calamities, and these natural calamities day by day increasing. Why? Due to the imbalance of nature. And the main responsible to imbalance the nature, the human being, we, not the animals. We are so responsible to destroy the balance of the nature, because we are the greedy person. We are always thinking about ourselves. We are not thinking that only the human being is not the only part of the earth. We are depend on the tiger, we are depend on the cow, we are depend on the decomposers, we are depend on the green plants. But for our greedy nature, we are to make the money we are actually destroying our world day by day regularly, and that's the ultimate threat to the existence of our world. Now see, cause of imbalance. First is hunting. Hunting, and inside you see that poaching. Poaching is a illegal hunting. Any kind of hunting is illegal. But you know that some greedy persons are there. They are actually look for the skin of the tiger, teeth of the elephant, and for that reason, their illegal hunting is going on still today, and this is poaching. And we are in that way we are actually destroy our universe. Next was is deforestation. Deforestation, that means to make the land, to make the shopping mall, to make the city, we are cutting the trees unnecessarily. Whether we are planting the trees in the same order? No. Afforestation is not going on. That is only the deforestation, cutting the tree unnecessarily to make the city. And that deforestation actually, the roots of the plants, they actually attract the soil. They are binding the soil. And if the deforestation is going on like in this way, you know that in this Ampan, that actually destroy the entire Sundarban. Why? Because we are destroying the mangrove forest in Digha, in Mandarmuni. We are cutting that jhau tree. These are actually protecting the air blows from the sea. These are the protecting wall. But for our own greedy nature, we are destroying all this mangrove forest and everything. We are cutting the trees. So deforestation is another cause for the imbalance in the nature. And the third one, that is last but not the least, ultimately it creates the pollution. If you deforestation is going on, then what will happen? There is a less of oxygen, more of carbon dioxide. You know that we are using different kinds of the vehicle which actually emits different kinds of the polluted gases. And all these things, these are actually tied in single stream. So the man, we are not actually thinking about our universe. So our motto should be go green, save the earth, save the oil, save the fuel, save the oil, save the water, save the trees, because we are interdependent with each other. We are depending on each other. Except human being, it is not possible to survive. Okay? So today up to this much. Thank you.